Hello everyone, welcome to the Old Man and the Read. My name is Jerry. Today I'm going to talk about a favorite writer of mine, Russell Banks. Russell Banks is somebody I had read like 15 to 20 years ago, something like that. But I have kind of an obsession where I find a writer I like and I'll just read everything I can from him, and Russell Banks happened to be one of those. But he's an American novelist and short story writer, and he was born in 1940 and just died about a year ago in 2023. But he's really a great writer. I enjoy his books. He wrote mostly books that are dealing with people that are struggling with life and marginalized from society, and there's a little bit of roughness and grittiness to his stories, but he wrote some great stories. So anyway, like I said, most of these I read 15-20 years ago. One I actually read fairly recently, but so I'll show you the books and try to say a little bit about them. The first book I have, the earliest that I have that he published, is Trailer Park, and this was published in 1981. And this is a short story collection. I think there's 13 stories in it, but they're all set in a New England trailer park and are about the various characters in the trailer park. A couple of the stories I really enjoyed. One is titled Guinea Pig Lady, and this is about a really strange lady who collects guinea pigs. She has hundreds of guinea pigs in her trailer, and her trailer is full of cages and feces. Another story titled The Fisherman. It's about an elderly man who enjoys ice fishing, but then he wins a large amount of money in a lottery. In 1985, he published Continental Drift, and this book has two storylines running through it. One is about a man with a wife and two daughters. He's dissatisfied with his life in New Hampshire, and he has a job that he hates and is looking for a change. So he moves to Florida to join his brother, who owns a couple of liquor stores, and has told him that he would be made a partner if he came. And the other storyline is about a poor Haitian family that wants to go to Florida to make a better life. And both of those very diverse storylines converge at the end. In 1986, he published another short story collection, Success Stories, and this has 12 short stories, and they're very diverse, but they all describe dismal and disturbing subject matter. But a couple of the stories I really liked. The title story, Success Story, is about a young man who's accepted to an Ivy League college, but when he gets there, he drops out in the very first term and goes to Florida to try to make something of his life. Another story titled The Fish. It's really a strange story, but it's about a giant fish in a pond. In 1991, he published The Sweet Hereafter. This is a story about a school bus accident that a bus tumbled down into like a pond, I guess it was, and there were 14 students that drowned. The story is told through 4 different narratives. One is by the bus driver. Another is about a man who's driving behind the bus who has a couple of children on the bus. Then another one is a negligence lawyer who wants to file a mass lawsuit. And then the fourth storyline is narrative is told by a teenager who was on the bus and she's paralyzed. In 1995, he published Rule of the Bone, and this follows a 14-year-old boy called Bone. He's drug addicted and homeless, and he had been sexually abused by his stepfather. But Banks wrote this really putting the reader into Bone's, the young boy's, head. Quite a marvelously written book. In 1998, he published Cloud Splitter, and I think this is my favorite of Russell Banks. This is a story about the radical abolitionist and Christian fundamentalist John Brown. And the story is narrated by his son Owen. And when Owen is telling the story, he's basically an old hermit, and he's haunted by the events from the past. The narration basically is split between the story of John Brown and then the commentary of Owen. In the year 2000, he published The Angel on the Roof, and this is actually a compilation of all the short stories he had written up to this point. There were 31 short stories in the book, and several of them are ones that I had already read in the other short story compilations, but a couple of them I thought were quite good. One is The Moor, and this is about a 50-something-year-old man who meets a former lover. She had been his lover like 30 years before, and she's now in her 80s. And another is Plains of Abraham, and this focuses on a man's 3 marriages, but it's mostly about his second marriage, where Irene, his second wife, is undergoing surgery in a hospital that he works in. In the year 2004, he published The Darling, and this follows a woman named Hannah. She is nearing 60 years old now, and but she was a member of the Weather Underground in the 70s. She had been involved in making bombs for the group and had escaped arrest by going to Africa, to Liberia actually. She then marries and has 3 children, but she actually finds her true passion in caring for chimpanzees that had been used for medical testing. And then Liberia starts sliding into towards civil war. In the year 2011, he published Lost Memory of Skin, and this is a story about a 22-year-old sex offender known as the Kid. He is now out on probation and is living under a causeway. His crime had been that he had solicited sex when he was over 18 on the internet from an underage girl, and when he arranged to meet her, he was arrested. The irony is he's 22 and he's still a virgin. But he wears a GPS, and he can't leave the county and can't reside within 2,500 feet from anywhere children reside, and so it just details his life. And the last book I have is A Permanent Member of the Family, and this is another short story compilation. This was published in 2013, and a couple of the stories I liked. One is Snowbirds, and this is about a widow after the sudden death of her husband. And another titled Former Marine, and it's about an aging man who is unable to admit that he's become too old to care for himself. I can identify with that one. Anyway, those are the stories I read by Russell Banks. Really a great writer, somebody I enjoyed reading several years ago, but I haven't really read that much from him lately. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching the video, and hopefully I'll see you on another. Thanks.